All right, guys, what's going on? Jamie here. Just wanted to do a quick update on Drip and the ecosystem. We'll go over the last update I posted over on my Telegram. And yeah, we'll go from there. We'll take a look at everything, give you my thoughts, and see where we're at. Of course, you can see the price right now sitting at $42. But we'll come back to that. Let's cover the Telegram post first. Of course, it goes without saying that everything I talk about on my channels for entertainment purposes only. Never take it as financial advice. Anything I talk about on my videos, you should do your own research, do your own diligence. And only if you're okay with the risk, because let's face it, all of this is high risk, then you should only put in what you can afford to lose. Okay, guys, when you only put in a risk capital and then you have a goal of taking out your initial deposit so you only have profits in a platform, essentially you've removed pretty much all the risk, right? You've taken your initial deposit out. You're only putting in what you can afford to lose. You only have house money in a platform. Now you can get off the emotional roller coaster, so to speak. Because when you're dealing with funds, your funds, very easy to get emotional. And you know, sometimes with these platforms, anything you're doing when it comes to things like this, you have to take the emotion out of it. I know easier said than done, but you know, it is what it is, right? So let's go over this real quick, not to go off on a tangent, but this was, I posted this yesterday, and in this post, Forex goes on to say the swap contract is done. He says, I'll finish up the UI in the next few hours. We need to give some time for people to be able to swap in their V1 pigs and V1 pigs LP. So once this is live, I know his post last week said that sometime over the weekend, we would have between the weekend and Tuesday to go ahead and send our V1 pigs and V1 pigs LP tokens in. But it's Tuesday as I'm making this video, and you know, I don't think it's going to come out today. Probably the next, I don't know, 24, 48, 72 hours, give or take, is probably when we'll be able to do this. So again, no rush. I think Forex did admittedly say in a previous Telegram that they kind of rushed things and it wasn't ready to launch. So if he needs a couple more days, I guess let him do it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we really can't do anything about it regardless, right? So why worry about it? You just gotta, you know, let them do their thing. In the meanwhile, you know, the faucet is working, the garden is working. You know, these contracts are still doing what they're doing. Yes, the price of the token, you know, isn't where it was, but it's still spitting out, you know, the 1% a day. The garden is still working. Of course, you guys know how miners work. You know, the percentage does come down. So I don't know exactly what it's paying out percentage wise. But you know, I'll show you what I'm making in the garden here in a second. But here it says no one needs to do anything with their piglets. I'm wondering if we have to do anything with our truffles also. You guys know, or does our truffles get migrated over one for one? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about that. The pigs V2 and all those related contracts are done. All the data is pulled from piggy bank. I'm doing very well, working hard to get this done because there's so much more I want to do after this migration is complete. I mean, he has said before that once the piggy bank is fully launched and kind of running, you know, there was a lot of other things that he was working on with Drip partnerships, thing with Chainlink. What else? NFTs, I think. I mean, I don't know, it slipped my mind right now, but there was other things he really wanted to do with Drip. So I guess he wants to you know, move on there, and that would be good. You know, obviously get this thing up and running and then come back to the home base, which is Drip. I've always said that, you know, the main hub is Drip, the Drip faucet. Everything else is just extra, right? So I think, you know, once he comes back around, I think it'll be a good thing. It says here it's going to be like a fresh start for everyone in the piggy bank. You will get piglets based on your deposit, and the distribution of piglets on these deposits will be based on a higher starting seed amount, similar to starting with a deeper liquidity pool. This means the price impact of initial buyers will be less, giving people who got in after a more fair distribution. Then we go live. So yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, initially it was going to be a 10-day process. If you remember that update, he said it was going to take about 10 days. I went on one of my videos and said if he says 10 days, it's probably going to be more like 14 days because there's always a couple of days. You know, I've been around the space for a long time. devs need a couple more days. Things don't go all the time according to the schedule. So between 10 to 14 days originally what it was. Then he came back and said, it'll take less than 10 days, right? Which is good, right? Obviously, it's not going to take the 10 to 14 days that initially he said it would take. It would take less than that, which is this second option, which he's offering here, which is great. So, it's been a couple of days. I know people are getting antsy because, their funds are locked. By the way, if your funds are in single token pools, they're not locked. If you know how to interact with the contract, there's many videos and there's things like that you can search out to do that. You can actually unstake from the single token pools. I don't think you can unstake from the farms, the LP tokens, but the single token pools, I believe you can. Like if you were staking Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever. I forget what the pools were. We'll take a look at it here in a second. Now again, there might be some risk there. Do it at your own risk. But if you were really that, if you were really that adamant of pulling out your funds in a single token staking pool, you can do that by interacting with the contract. All of that just to say, initially it was 10 to 14 days. Then he said it was going to take less than 10 days. So, we'll see what happens here. Hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll have an update and we can kind of get this thing going and then everything kind of get back to business, but, we got to put things in perspective. This is just my opinion. Obviously, you might not agree with it and that's fine. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you want to compare it, you look at, Richard Hart, and again, this is not a Richard Hart video. You probably have your own opinion of Richard Hart, but last year he launched that sacrifice, and a lot of people went in on those things, including myself. I mean, I sacrificed almost 50 grand, and then I went back and sacrificed another 50 grand, right? So I'm 100 grand deep into that sacrifice, and it's been like a year, and we haven't seen anything, or I haven't seen anything. I mean, what's the update on that? I don't even know. When is that thing going to launch, right? And it's been a year and people are gung-ho about it still. And people are still pumped, ready and waiting for it to work. Forex has been a couple of days and people are already, saying that, this is not gonna, they're unhappy. And I get it, man. Whenever your funds are locked, of course there's gonna be stress and unhappiness. I get that, right? So I'm not saying you're wrong, because look, your feelings are validated, right? Whatever you're feeling is right. I'm not gonna say, if you're feeling pissed about it, if you're feeling, shaken about it, that it's wrong, because you're not wrong, right? It is what it is. People are gonna feel what they're gonna feel, but give the guy a chance. He's hasn't given us any reason to doubt him over the last year or so, and he's launched other products that have worked, right? So he's never rugged. He's never done. Now I'm not now. That being said, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? I actually messaged him. I actually DM'd him, just to say, hey, what's going on? Nothing major, right? Just to kind of see if he would answer back. And it's been like, I don't know, 2 days. He hasn't answered back, but that's to be expected. The guy's probably buried and busy and trying to get this thing to launch. So I'm not expecting him to get back to me. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just gonna keep working the garden. I'm gonna keep working the faucet. When this thing launches is when it launches, right? It is what it is. Nothing really we can do about it. Going back to the faucet here, you can see this thing is doing its thing. It's paying out the 1%. We're still doing about 20K a day with this. If you see my deposits right here, let me see, where's my other account right here. So you add that up, it's just under 2 million, I guess. So doing still about 20K a day with this. And yeah, we're gonna, keep working the faucet. You've seen if you watched my videos over the last 3 weeks, go back about 3 weeks into my videos, 3.5 weeks, we've compounded and hydrated over $600,000 back into the faucet. So that should tell you that, I'm participating, you know what I mean? I want this thing to work just like everybody else. And, we're going to just keep on, rolling with it. You can see here the animal farm. Let me see here. I got about $2,500 worth of LP tokens. Here in my value in the drip garden. You can see here the animal farm still doing its not still doing its thing. We're waiting for it to do its thing, but you can see the piggy bank. I'm waiting for this too, just like everybody else. You see that you see here at about $7,000 worth of truffles in this stake, $5,100 worth of truffles in this stake, $4,500 worth of truffles in this stake. So yeah, when this thing finally resumes and gets off the ground, this is going to be big because if it's anything like this, I mean, this thing is paying out. So yeah, let Forex do its thing. When it launches, and in the meantime, keep working the faucet or not. It's totally up to you. Like again, I'm never going to tell you what to do with your funds. If you want to, you know, do you, right? Everybody has a different strategy. Everyone has their own biased opinion, right? If you go into the Telegram right now for drip or animal farm, it's just people just are in panic mode, right? So for me, I try not even to get into those Telegrams. I'll check it like maybe once a day or once every other day, but I won't stay in there because it's just for what? For what, right? Like it's just gonna drive you nuts, right? So yeah, if I was gonna suggest something, try to stay out of the Telegrams. You're gonna get flooded by people who are just fearful. And I'm not saying they're wrong. It's like I said, whatever people feel is what they're gonna feel. You know what I mean? But I try not to stay in there too long. I'll check it and then come back to it in 24 hours just to see if there's any updates or anything like that about this migration. But I won't stay in there and just get brainwashed by everybody that's in there. Anyway, that being said, yeah, I'll give you guys an update as soon as I hear something. In the meanwhile, follow me on Telegram. I will leave a link for that down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the little bell icon so you'll get notified straight away whenever I do a brand new video. And yeah, we'll keep it moving. All right, guys, I'll catch you soon. Peace.